Okay guys, welcome back to Soopa-Dave Gaming. Today I have a Ark Survival Evolved Beginner's Guide, and maybe with the tips I have, maybe some guys that have played it a long time or experts pick up a thing or two when you're starting out. Right off the bat, before we get into the game, I'll show you on the top right of the screen. If you see it up there, I'll put an arrow up there so you can see it. That's always news where updates will come, etc., stuff like that for Ark. Also, right away before we even get into the game, you should go to your options and get your settings sorted out. Now, I guess this can vary player to player. You know, like a lot of things in this video, it'll vary to player, but I have my master volume turned way down because it is obnoxiously loud. A lot of this other stuff is default except for gamma, which is gonna help you see a lot better at night. You can turn it down during the day if you want, but I normally just leave it up and get used to the day being kind of bright. There are some other things in here I highly recommend. By default, join notifications I don't think are on, and make sure allow crosshairs is on. That's gonna help you out a lot. And if you are on the Imperial system, aka the USA, you might want to change this to Fahrenheit instead of Celsius. And then make sure you hit apply and then save and exit if that's all the things you want to do. So when you're ready to join Ark, you're going to want to go over to this menu, hit join Ark, and it'll sort out all game modes, everything. And it just depends on what you're playing. There's a lot of different maps to play. I highly recommend starting out on the island and PvE, but I will explain a lot of things for PvT or PvP as well in this video, especially if that's what your long term is to play PvP. There's some pretty hefty differences between the two of them, obviously. Alright guys, when you load into a map, this is what you'll see. You can customize your character quite a bit. I won't get into too much detail about this. If you're doing PvP, I actually recommend building a smaller character. It's harder to see, hard to actually hit. So that is one thing I would recommend for that. Otherwise, make sure you change your survivor name. You see a lot of Bobs or humans now because they changed the default to human. I'm just going to do Dave for right now. It doesn't matter where you're going to spawn. I definitely recommend the south more, although the north isn't terribly hard. Up to the right, yeah, up to the right isn't too bad. That north 3 is pretty hard. I wouldn't recommend spawning there. I've always spawned in south 2. It doesn't particularly matter, so that's what we're going to do. Also, guys, while I have you here, when you're spawning in, just keep in mind you're gonna die a lot in the game if you're new to the game completely. There's a lot to take in, a lot to learn, so just be ready and don't give up. You'll die a lot with raptors and Talos and stuff. So alright, I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on this. Just tell you real quick about your hotbar. Use place items in there, and you can use them whenever you want by hitting the buttons down there. On PC it'll be 1 through 9, and then the last one will be 0. On Xbox I can't actually quite remember, and on PS4 you can see right there for yourself what they are. On the right hand of the screen, the arrow is for your XP, whether you're close to a level. The next one down is for your weight, how encumbered you are, how much you're carrying. The third one down is your water. Also the haunch over there, that's your food one. That tells you how hungry you are. The lightning is your stamina. And the plus sign is your health. Also, you can hit triangle or E on water to drink water. So you have different points that you can put into in the game. Definitely, this is probably one of the more important parts of the video. Health is your health pool. Stamina is when you sprint or fight, how much energy you have. If you run out of that, you can pass out or fall. Oxygen is for going underwater. I generally don't really pump that one a whole lot. I'll get more into the details with these in a minute here. Food is, you know, obviously how much food you have. Same with water. Weight is how much you can carry. Melee damage is how much damage you do with melee weapons. Also, when harvesting with like a pick and an axe. Movement speed is how fast you are. Crafting skill is how fast and what quality you can craft things at. It actually, if you have blueprints, it can make you craft them higher. And fortitude, which is how fast you gain torpor and how fast you lose it, and how good you are at being able to handle temperature differences. So like right now I'm cold. If my points were, you know, 20 or 30, I wouldn't even probably have that cold icon right now. When building your character, I'll start with PvE. Now, keep in mind, these can vary player to player. I'm just giving you a good base start to start from. In PvE, I'd recommend anywhere, especially if you're new, maybe 200-300 health, and then a lot of weight, and maybe 20 to 30 fortitude. Kind of go that route. Health is important very early on, even later on when you do caves. Weight in PvE is pretty helpful, especially when you're building quite a bit, and you don't have to worry about fighting as much. Fortitude on PvE isn't too important. You can go to, I generally go to about 30 and then stop. That'll make it so you can handle most temperatures. If you are doing PvP, however, health can be a big bonus, especially if you're new, and stamina can be a pretty good bonus. But the most underrated thing I see in PvP is people not pumping their fortitude. This will wake you up quickly, and make it so you're harder to get knocked out, which, especially early game, is a big thing. Otherwise you can get knocked out really easy. Even with just fist or a club, it doesn't take much. Like I said, fortitude is a very underrated stat in PvP. Weight can be helpful in PvP, especially while raiding, but honestly, you're going to have dinos with you, so weight is just something you're going to take more time to do. These points can be reset later in the game, so if you do pump something you don't like, or you could try to experiment and reset them. These aren't permanent. Well, actually, while we're here, this is my main character from the Let's Play 105. He's max level for Primitive Plus right now. And this is my PvE build. You can kind of see how I went about it. Pretty simple build, but like I said, in PvE I want weight. Also, the plus signs, when you click on them, that's how you add points to each particular one. When you're done adding points, it'll take you to this menu every time where you can learn new things. Make sure you get your tools, armors, you know, stuff like that. Also, when you're doing your engrams, try to only learn what you absolutely need to know. Some items, for instance, like a Phiomia saddle, if you haven't tamed a Phiomia, I probably wouldn't learn it. Alright, when you're trying to build stuff in the game, if you're at this menu, you can go up to here and then hit crafting, or if you're on PS4, you can shortcut it by hitting R1 while you're in this menu. If you hover above this, each item to make it, it should show you what you need to make it. And if it is not, it's probably because you accidentally had the tooltips hit, it won't show. So just make sure the tooltips is on or highlighted, and you can pick up stone from the ground, and just like a lot of survival games, you can punch a tree for thatching wood just to get your first tool going on. You open up your menu, pick will be the first thing you make, and then we will go from there once that's done crafting. You pull the pick down into your hotbar. So picks, guys, get flint from stone. As you'll see here, it'll be mostly flint. Oh, we got lucky, got some metal, but it'll get mostly flint and stone. From a tree, a pick will give you mostly thatch. And that's what we'll need to make our axe. These are the most two critical items in the game. Once your axe is built, you want to put that in your hotbar. But an axe will get mostly stone from stone and wood from a tree. And if you unequip it and use your hands, you can get berries and plants from fiber. One thing I'd also like to add is on a body, on a dinosaur body, a pick will get mostly meat, axe will get mostly hide or chitin or keratin. Alright guys, when you're in your inventory, if you go up here to the tribe manager, you will be able to create a tribe. We're just going to name it United Tribe for right now. For no particular reason, we just need to have a tribe name. You can change it at any time if you want. You can change your tribe up here on this pencil icon right there. And then there's governance. I won't really get into detail. It's pretty straightforward there. Now to actually playing the game, guys. When you start playing, that's level 80. What you're actually going to do is, first things first, you're going to want to tame. Most people are going to want to tame, but don't do that. What you're going to actually want to do is you're going to want to find little animals and just kill them for XP. You can do it with spikes or anything else, and killing stuff is a good way to get XP and food. You probably want to gonna kill things until you can make wood foundations, which isn't really that hard. Also, guys, when you get to level 9, this right here is called a bola. Get really used to it. This thing can help you a lot, especially when you're trying to kill things like raptors or dialos. It makes it so they can't get away from it, or you can throw them at it and then get away. Alright, this is how you use Ebola. You basically hold R2 or whatever button it is to fire until you get ready, and then you aim at the dinosaur and you can pike them or run away. So that's a good way to get experience, guys. So I'm going to kill this guy here. Also keep in mind, guys, that these first spears you get will break. And if you die a bunch of times at this point in the game, don't worry about it. It's natural. Also, some helpful advice here. We're on my main guy now. If you see these guys down where you're building, stay away from them. They get mad at you, and these are one of the toughest animals in the game. Also, if you see a glowing like raptor or Carno. Also, guys, when you're exploring or fighting dinosaurs to level up, if you see these boxes here, or there could be little canisters on the ground, they're normally by these rune type of things, and hidden in trees or on a cliff. These will give you experience boosts and a lot of experience right away from getting them. As simply put, when you're building, put the item in your hotbar that you want to build. You do need to normally start out with foundations or fence foundations. That being said, if the item is darker green like this, that means it's facing outwards towards you. If it's lighter green, it's facing inwards. Also, guys, you're probably going to be eating berries a little bit in the beginning of the game. Don't eat the black ones, that make you fall asleep. And if you eat the white ones, they'll give you extra stamina, but it'll dry out your thirst. But it'd be nice to have them on your hotbar in case somebody tries knocking you out. The other berries are absolutely fine to eat, though. Alright, now that you've got enough experience to build wood materials, you're going to want to find yourself a base. At the bottom of the map, or even a little bit onto the eastern side of the map, I highly recommend if you're brand new to Ark. It's kind of an easier place to build. As a rule of thumb, if you're on another map, by water is generally easier. By big water is generally easier. Not always, but you're going to want to put your base by water so you're not dehydrated all the time. This is actually my starter base right here. There's actually metal up there. That's why I built this close. But you're going to want to build a pen before you actually start taming dinos, guys. That's probably the biggest mistake I see all the time. Now we're on Primitive Plus, so that building looks a little different. If you don't have a pen for dinos, they will die really quickly and often. As soon as you start building, make sure you place a bed or bedroll down so that you can respawn at your own building. So when you're killing dinos in the beginning, you should be getting height for your bed or bedroll. Now once you've built a pen and a building, your next step is you're probably going to want to tame dinos, and the best way to do that is using bolas or a taming trap similar to this. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. This is just how I personally build mine. And what you'll do is you'll make a dinosaur mad at you, have it chase you. It'll follow you into here. You run through this hole here, and then you can come up and you'll be able to shoot it pretty easily up here without it hurting you. And it'll be trapped, and it's easier to protect while it's knocked out while you feed it food. Dinosaurs will take generally mostly berries or meat. And some very good ones early on would be trikes, like there's one in here, because their knockback is really good. They gather berries, they got good health pool, and when you get good with them when you're fighting, it pushes dinos back when they attack. What makes a trike so good is when they do their headbutt like this, it knocks dinosaurs back really far. So you can hit them without ever hitting you when you get good at them. Also, a good early game mount is a iguanodon. They do pretty good damage. They don't run out of stamina, so they essentially can run straight across the map no problems, and they're pretty fast. Trike also, if you do the charge run, is pretty quick with them too. Alright guys, also when taming a dinosaur, you'll see they have an unconscious bar, and I put food in inventory to tame bar. Dinosaurs take either meat or berries to tame, generally as a rule of thumb. There are some oddballs, but that's where you start. Make sure that unconscious bar don't go down. If it does, you can use narcotics to actually, if you remote use narcotics in its inventory, the torpidity will go back up. Make sure that unconscious bar or torpidity doesn't go to 0, otherwise it'll wake up. A lot of dinos, actually, you won't even have to worry about that. They'll tame before that happens. As for armor, guys, it just depends on where you live. If it's hot, you can wear ghillie, or if it's cold, you can wear flak or fur. Hide actually works really good early game. That's all on the choices you make. I personally wear ghillie a lot of times because it gives you protection versus the heat and cold, and you can see that in the hypothermal insulation and hyperthermic insulation down there at the bottom, right next to your boots. That's why I do it. If you get a good set of ghillie, you can kind of go anywhere. Also, if you get a good set of flak, you can kind of do the same thing as well. Alright guys, hopefully this video helped you guys out starting a lot. If I missed anything, I'll try to leave it in the description or in a pinned comment down below. Also guys, if you want to see me do a lot of these things for yourself that I described in the video, we have a Let's Play that I just started a few weeks ago, and you can see me go from all the way to the beginning of the game to kind of have a wyvern and like reaching level 105, and you can see how to level and stuff like that, and how to build a taming trap. Hopefully I'll have some more guides out for you guys, but I'll leave that primitive or the Let's Play down there so you guys can watch along with me. So have a great day guys, hopefully this helped.